I'm going to go through Ephesians 2 real quick and try to expound on it a little bit. Maybe bring some understanding to somebody. um, and, bring light to what Paul's saying here. So, I'm going to start, and I guess I'll start at verse 8 because this is what a lot of the churches try to use out of context to say that you're not saved by works. Because of how it's written and how they don't really study. It says, "For by grace are you saved through faith, that not of yourselves, it is the gift of God." Jehovah. So if you look up that word in the Strong's, it's a Greek word, charis, G5485. It means divine influence upon your heart, conviction, convicted to obey God and follow Messiah, right? So by grace you are saved. If you don't do despite unto the spirit of conviction and disobey. It's like when we all know that stealing and murder and adultery and these things are sin, right? So when you get that feeling, your conscience telling you you shouldn't be doing this, and you don't listen to it and do it anyways, you're disobeying that conviction and you commit sin. So you're doing despite unto the spirit of conviction, grace. "For by grace are you saved through faith, and that not of yourselves, it is a gift of God, not of works, lest any man should boast." Well, not of what works? It's not of self-righteous works, because we all know our fleshly works are self-righteous and like filthy rags, right? And not of works of the sacrificial law, works of men's hands, because the blood of bullocks could never save you, right? Could never bring righteousness. "For we are his workmanship, created in Yeshua Messiah, unto good works, which God hath before ordained that we should walk in them." So what are these good works that we're supposed to be doing? Not our own self-righteous works, not works of the sacrificial law, the dead works that Messiah nailed to the tree. Colossians 2:18. What are these works which he before ordained that we should walk in? Well, it's the Ten Commandments. He ordained them for us to walk in. He said, if we do these, it shall be our righteousness, and we'll have long life in the land, whithersoever we go to possess it, right? So, why aren't we doing this? It just doesn't make sense to me why the church preaches against the Ten Commandments, because they're good for one, and two, if you actually look at them and meditate on them, it's rest. It's rest from the works of men's hands, because wouldn't it be a work an evil work to break them, it'd be a work of your own hands. Stealing is a work of men's hands. It's what men do. Men steal, lie, covet, worship false gods, murder. That's a work of men's hands. So if you don't keep them, you're committing sin. And God ordained them for us to walk in. Before ordaining them that we should walk in them. We should walk even as our Messiah walked. He kept the Ten Commandments. Let me jump to Matthew 7, 21 through 25, or 23. Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not cast out devils and done many good works in your name? And he shall profess to them that he doesn't know him, right? So why are they trying to bring works if they say they're not? They're trying to bring works before him, while at the same time saying that you're not saved by any works. But the works that they're bringing before him are the works of men's hands. They broke the Ten Commandments, and they're trying to bring that before him to say that we did all these great things in your name, all these good works in your name. It doesn't make much sense. Verse 11. Wherefore remember that ye, being in time past Gentiles in the flesh. So that word Gentile, if you look it up, it means heathen. It means heathen nation, uncircumcised, who are called uncircumcision by that which is called the circumcision in the flesh made by hands. You're not supposed to remain a Gentile. If you're calling yourself a Gentile, but claim to know Jehovah, you lie because you don't obey. Verse 12, that at that time ye were, so at what time? At the time when you were Gentiles in the past, you were without Messiah, being aliens from the commonwealth of Israel. So alien, separated from the commonwealth of Israel, from the covenants of promise, strangers from the covenants of promise, having no hope and without Jehovah in the world. So it says strangers from the covenants of promise. Covenants, plural. There's 2 covenants of promise. You should be asking yourself, what is this talking about? You should be asking the Father, what are the covenants of promise? Because it says right here that if I'm a stranger from the covenants of promise and an alien from the commonwealth of Israel, that I'm without Messiah, without hope, and without God, and that I'm in the world. You don't want to be a part of the world. Be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. So, look up what the covenants of promise are. It's the Holy Covenant, which is the 10 Commandments, which the Messiah was prophesied to come and teach all people, all nations. Deuteronomy 18. The Lord your God will raise up a prophet unto you, like unto me. To him you will hearken, or you will be destroyed from upon the face of the earth. He was prophesied to come and teach you everything that the assembly desired At Horeb. What did they desire at Horeb? They desired the 10 Commandments. Exodus 20. When they received the 10 Commandments verbally from the mouth of God, it said, let us not hear the voice of this great fire, that we die not. They accepted the 10 Commandments. They said that they would do them. Jehovah wouldn't give you something that you couldn't do, right? Y'all say that all the time. That God doesn't give you more than you can handle, right? Well, why would He give it to you if you couldn't handle it? They chose not to. They chose not to because they lusted after Egypt. The comforts that they had in Egypt, right? The gods that they had in Egypt, they made to themselves a golden calf and worshipped it. And what did they say? They said, "This is a feast, a holiday to our God Jehovah. This is how we're going to worship Him." In a fable, not in spirit and in truth. It's the same thing the church does today. They say, we're going to take the feasts and holidays of Rome and we're going to use them to worship the God of our fathers. And we can make them clean, but who can bring a clean thing from an unclean thing? Nobody. We do it for Jesus. They call Jesus their God. Completely alienating themselves from Jehovah, from the Father. You can't do that. So, why are you not studying these things out to show yourself approved? And why do you just listen to what some man tells you and that you're good? Like, all you got to do is believe, and it's just a total crock. It doesn't make any sense. We've already established that using scripture, that if you disobey God's voice and don't listen to the Messiah, that you don't believe. No matter what you say, because the word says, hereby do we know that we have a relationship with Him when we keep His commandments. He who says, I have a relationship with Him and keeps not His commandments is a liar, and the truth is not in him. That's 1 John 2 verses 3 and 4. And I use that word relationship because that's what the church says. It's all about relationship. You just got to have a relationship. Well, what does that mean? You just talk to Him all day but don't do anything He says? You just say you know Him but you don't do anything the book says? Because it says to have a relationship, to know Him, you should obey His voice and keep His commandments. And they're not grievous. 1 John 5:3. The church says they're grievous, they're hard to do, nobody can do them. The book don't say that. The book says you can do all things through Messiah who strengthens you. And that's not to be applied to you getting all the material benefits of your desires, your covetous desires. Jehovah is not your freaking genie. He's not your wish master. You only find and receive the things that He wants for you in your life by obedience, and He wants you to follow His will and obey. It's not some prosperity crap. It's not some do as thou wilt and you'll be saved crap. That's the doctrine of the churches. Do as thou wilt and you shall be saved as long as you say, I love Jesus. That's not His name. You don't know Him. He's not a Greek demigod. He's a Hebrew. His name is Yeshua. And He comes in His Father's name, Jehovah. You've all received the false Messiah that's been preached by the church that says you can remain lawless, and those that remain lawless will receive the reward of everlasting fire and contempt. Hope that somebody hears me and is convicted to actually study these things out in Yeshua's name.